Alright, today I'm going to go over the first assignment. It's on pages P5, 1, 2 to 26 even, then P7, 1, then 2 to 20 even. Alright, I'm going to use this thing called dimensional analysis, which basically means I'm going to multiply by a fraction equal to 1. It's not going to look like 1, but it's going to be equal to 1. I'm going to use my conversion tables. So here's the units of length, and that's going to like, for example, here, what I mean by a fraction 1, this would be a fraction 1 inch all over 2.5 centimeters, or 2.5, and I always just used to having 4 all over 1 inch. Both of those are equal to 1. That would be the idea of dimensional analysis, where I'm just making something cancel out. All right. Here's some more conversion tables we're going to be using. So just pay attention. Length, that's something you would measure. Capacity is like it's like a fluid that you would put like you would drink almost. Mass is weight, and we'll go through all that. So I'm going to use this set of tables, and I'm going to use this set of tables to pretty much do everything on these assignments. Alright, the first part of this says state which metric. Remember, that's important. Alright, so metric is not what you guys are used to, because we use customary, even though almost all the entire world uses metric. You would use to measure each item. The radius of a tennis ball. Alright, I think most of us would think of tennis ball in inches, but they want metric, so the closest thing to inches in metric is centimeters. The length of a notebook. Once again, I would measure that in inches, like you measure paper like 8 3/4 by 11 inches. So once again, I would say that's going to be centimeters. So that's also centimeters. The mass of a beach ball. Well, I think I would weigh a beach ball in ounces. I don't think even a beach ball is even going to weigh 1 pound. So I think ounces. So here's what I do in case I'm not sure. I look at the weight, and ounces right here go with grams. So my customary would be ounces, so if I'm thinking ounces, I think grams, and then that's where I'm going to go. So I'm pretty sure that the mass of beach ball should be grams. Water in a bathtub. Well, customary I would think of a gallon, so I'm going to think liters. All right, and that's it. Now remember, on 8 through 26 even, I want to see at least one step. So number 8. So I want to take 18 feet. All right, I'm going to multiply by a fraction. I want feet to go away, so I pick this. I pick feet to be a bottom. All right, I look at my chart. In my chart, 1 yard equals 3 feet. So I put 3 on the bottom. I put 1 yard on top. The feet cancel. I'm left with 18 over 3 yards, and 18 over 3, my calculator is 18 divided by 3, so I'm left with 6 yards. That's my best answer. Alright, 10, very similar. I have 210 millimeters. If I look over at and I want to turn it into centimeters. So I look at my chart, and I see, look, 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So I'm going to use this one right here. So I say 210 millimeters times, I'm going to put millimeters on the top. And because there's a chart that says centimeters to millimeters, I'm going to put centimeters on top. I put millimeters on bottom, so they always cancel. And I know that 10 centimeters, that 1 centimeter is the same as 10 millimeters. So I'm with 210 centimeters all over 10. 210 divided by 10 is just 21, so your answer is 21 centimeters. Right? The reason I use dimensional analysis instead of just remembering to multiply or divide is I don't ever have to think about if something's smaller or bigger. By me forcing the fraction to make something cancel, it does all that work for me. So that's why I'm not multiplying or dividing, which you could. Alright, now we're taking meters to kilometers. Alright, so I'm going to check, and I'm going to see, is there something that takes meters to kilometers? So I'm going to look in length, look in length. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So I know that 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. So I want meters to go away because I have 3,100 meters. I want the meters to go away. So I multiply, and I put meters on the bottom. I put kilometers on top because that's what I want to end up with right here. That tells me I want to put kilometers on top. So 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Now the meters cancel, so I'm left with 3,100 over 1,000, and just left with kilometers. I do that in my calculator, 3,100 over 1,000. I end up with 3.1. So my best answer is 3.1 kilometers. And that's it. 14. I have 5,280 yards. It's important. Equals how many miles? Now I look at my chart. I have yards to feet, and I have feet to miles. I don't have a yards to miles. So I'm going to have to take yards to feet and then feet to miles. Alright? So that's a little bit harder. But I have to remember, I'm going to go yards to feet. Then I'm going to turn my feet into miles. Alright? So I start off with 5,280 yards. I don't know how many feet that is. So I'm going to multiply by feet over yards, because I want the yards to cancel and I want the feet to show up. I want the feet to show up so I can eventually turn them into miles. So I know that there are 3 feet every 1 yard. That's from my conversion table. Now, the yards are gone. You could multiply right now, but I'm just going to keep on going because I don't want to end up with feet right here. I don't want to end up with the feet right here. I want to end up with miles. So I'm going to put miles on top, and I'm going to put feet on bottom. Now these feet will cancel, and I'll be left with the miles right here. So I put 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So I do 5,280 times 3 divided by 5,280. I end up with 3 miles, and that's it. Okay. All right, number 16, I'm going to go kilometers to meters. So I'm going to 0.62 kilometers. I'm going to look at my conversion chart, and I find out that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So I'm going to do 0.62 times 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So I do 0.62 divided by 1,000. I end up with 0.00062 meters. And that's it. Alright, 18, I have 12 liters equals how many milliliters? So I start with 12 liters. I look at my capacity portion of my chart. See, I look at the capacity portion, and I find out that 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. Alright, so 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. Remember, I want the liters to cancel, so it matters how I write this fraction. I have to put the liter on the bottom so these cancel. So 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So I end up with 12,000 milliliters is my final answer. Very similar. I have 5 quarts. I want to turn it into cups. Alright, so I know that's capacity, but now I'm on the metric side. The customer side. So I got quarts to pints. So I'm going to have to take quarts. I'm going to take these quarts. right here, turn them into pints, and then turn the pints into cups. So I'm going to use pints into cups as well. So I'm going to go quarts to pints, pints to cup, because that's what's in here. So I'm going to go quarts into pints, and then pints into cups. Okay? So 5 quarts. I'm going to multiply. Remember, quarts go on the bottom because I want them to go away. I wish I could put cups right on top, but there is not a quarts to cups conversion. So I'm going to go to pints right now. And I know by my conversion table, if you look here, that 1 quart equals 2 pints. So 1 quart equals 2 pints. Now I have to put cups on top because that's what I want to end up with. See, I want to end up with cups. And I put pints on the bottom. I want to say, okay, there are 2 cups for every 1 pint. Where did I get that from? I got that on this part of the conversion chart right here. So now the pints are going to cancel. And this is how I double check to make sure I set it right. The pints cancel, the quarts cancel. I end up with 5 times 2 times 2. So 5 times 2 is 10, times 2 again is 20. So it's 20 cups are in 5 quarts. And that's it. Alright, so 48 cups equals how many gallons? I look at my conversion chart, and I see that gallons goes into quarts, quarts goes into pints, pints goes into cups. Alright, so I'm going to go, so my whole thing is going to be gallons to quarts, quarts to pints, and then pints to cups. So I'm going to have I'm going to have 3 different multiplications going on here. So I'm going to do 48 cups times, I want to take, actually I'm going vice versa, guys. I wrote it down backwards. I'm actually going to go cups to pints, pints to quarts, and then quarts to gallons. So sorry about that. So I want to turn these cups into pints. So I'm going to put pints on top, and I'm going to put the cups on the bottom, because then the cups will cancel. So there's 2 cups for every 1 pint. Now I want those pints to turn into quarts, so I put quart on top, cup on bottom. Pint on bottom. Notice, guys, I always do the labels before I do any writing, and I know that every 1 quart has 2 pints. So notice the pints cancel now. And multiply again. 1 gallon is how many quarts? Is 4 quarts. So now the quarts cancel. So now look, the only label I have left is the only label I want. So I end up with 48 on top, because 48 times 1, remember this over 1. 48 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 48. 1 times 2 is 2, times 2 is 4, times 4 is 16. So 48 divided by 16 is 3, and we're left with gallons. And that's it for 22. 36 milligrams equals how many grams? Well, I look at my mass. I have grams to milligrams. It's 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. So I have milligrams, so I have 36 milligrams equals gram, or I'm going to multiply, not equals milligrams on bottom. So I have 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. So I end up with 36 over 1,000. The milligrams cancel like I want, so my best answer is 0.036 grams. A lot of people put the 0 in front. I'm fine either way if you don't put it in front or do put it in front. So that's your best answer for 24. 26. 26, I'm going to look at my chart. Grams to kilograms. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. So I say 130 grams. I'm going to multiply kilogram over gram. So I have 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. The grams cancel just like I wanted. I'm left with kilograms. So I have 130 all over 1,000. Or it's 13 over 100, or 13 hundredths, or 0.13, and then kilograms is the only thing left over. See, that's the only thing left over? That's why my best answer should be 0.13 kilograms. You might see somebody write 0.13 kilograms. All right, but either way is okay. And that's it for 26. We're going to move on to page 7. All right, number 1. On page P7, we have 8 inches equals how many centimeters? If you use the fractions like I did, it's the same exact steps from P5 to P7. If last section you multiplied and divided, you have to use the ratio in a fraction the way I did, the equivalency in a fraction. So 8 inches. Remember, I want inches to go away, so I put inches on the bottom of a fraction. Because remember, that's on top of a fraction. I put centimeters on top. I end up with 2.5 centimeters is 1 inch. I multiply that together. I end up and I get 20 centimeters. Because I did 8 times 2.5. Right? 2. I have 15 meters equals how many yards? I look at my equivalency, okay, and actually I'm going to go back to the one that says these ones right here. I'm changing meters to yards. So look, I find meters, and I find they have their own equivalency right here, meters to yards. So 1 meter equals 1.1 yards. So 1 meter equals 1.1 yards. So I'm going to say 15 meters times and guys, it doesn't matter which one of these you use. You can use this one here, 1 yard is 0.9 meters, or 1 meter is 1.1 yards. It doesn't matter. So I'll just use this one right here. It doesn't really matter which one you use. I'll get the same answer. So 1 yard is 0.9 meters. So remember, I want meters on the bottom, and I want yards on top. So I have 1 yard is 0.9 meters. So I have to do 15 divided by 0.9. Because look, the meters cancel. I'm left with 15 over 0.9, which is just 15 divided by 0.9. So I end up with 16.5 yards. Alright, that's it for number 2. Alright, so now we're going to go ounces to grams. So I go back to my conversion chart, and I'm looking at mass, and I see ounces to grams right there. So 1 ounce is 28.3 grams. You also could use grams to ounces. It does not matter which way you want to go, guys. It doesn't matter, all right, as long as you set it up correctly. So ounces, 1 ounce is 28.3 grams. So just in case I'm going to write this down so I don't forget it, 1 ounce is 28.3 grams. All right, so I have 25 ounces times grams on top, ounces on the bottom. See how I always do the labels first, and then I worry about my numbers. Okay, 1 ounce, 28.3. So I end up with 25 times 28.3 all over 1, and that's going to give me my grams. So my final answer is going to be 707.5, right, grams. And that's it for number 4. Alright, 32 centimeters equals about how many inches? Remember, guys, in this section, none of them are equal signs. They're all the wavy. That means approximate. It means really, really close, okay? Technically, they're not exactly equal. It's kind of like if you ever use a metric wrench instead of a standard wrench, how sometimes like you can make them work for different ones, but sometimes they don't fit perfectly. Alright, so 32 centimeters. Remember, guys, I'm going to multiply by centimeters on the bottom. That means inches have to be on top. So 1 inch is 2.5 centimeters. So I end up with 12.8 inches. Right? And that's it for 6. 8. Liters to quarts. So 9.5 liters equals how many quarts? So I have to look on the conversion chart. I don't know it off the top of my head. So I look on the capacity, because think about capacity is what quarts and liters are. And I see 1 quart is 0.9 liters, or you could use 1 liter as 1.1 quarts. It doesn't matter. I'll use the 1 liter as 1.1 quarts. So I have 9.5 liters times, I want quarts on top, liters on the bottom. And just to double check, because I forgot already and I didn't write it down, 1 liter is 1.1 quarts. 1 liter is 1.1 quarts. So I put 1.1 up top and 1 liter on the bottom. Liters cancel. I end up with 9.5 times 1.1 is 10.45 quarts. All right, and that's it. All right, at 4.3 kilograms is about how many pounds? So I know the conversion is 1 pound is about 2.2 kilograms. So I'm going to do 4.3 kilograms. I'm going to put pound on top, kilogram on bottom, so they cancel. So 1 pound is 2.2 kilograms. The kilograms cancel. I end up with 4.3 divided by 2.2. And that is about 1.95 pounds. All right, that's it for number 10. 12. 82.5 grams equals how many ounces? All right, so I have 82.5 equals, or times, sorry, ounces on the top. I want the grams on the bottom, so they cancel. Boom, boom. So 1 ounce, I believe, is 28.3 grams. Let's double check. 1 ounce is 28.3 grams. So I end up with 82.5 all over 28.3, and that's going to give me my ounces. So 82.5 divided by 28.3 is about 3.3 ounces. And that's it for 12. All right, 14 is a little bit trickier because I don't have a conversion that goes feet right into meters. All right, so I'm going to turn my feet into yards because I have a conversion that does yards to meters. So I know that I can turn feet into yards, and then I can turn this yards into meters. So 10 feet, I'm going to multiply. Remember, I'm going to put yard on the top. I'm going to put feet on the bottom. So 1 yard is 3 feet. I'm going to multiply again because the feet went away, but now I want these yards to turn to meters. So I'm going to put meters on top, yards on bottom. I have 1 yard, and I'm going to look, double check, and I'm looking right here. 1 yard is 0.9 meters. All right. So 1 yard is 0.9 meters. So I'm going to do 10 times 0.9 all divided by 3. So I'm going to have 10 times 0.9 all divided by 3. And then I'm going to end up with exactly 3 meters. And guys, if you're not sure, look what the feet canceled out, the yards canceled out. The reason it's meters is that's the only thing that's left. And look, that's what we wanted. All right, so that's it for 14. All right, 16 is very similar to 14 because I don't have a conversion that goes right from grams. All right, right from grams. We're looking at mass now. Right from grams into pounds. I have pounds. Or from ounces. I have ounces, grams to ounces, and I can then turn my ounces into pounds. All right, so I'm going to take my grams. I'm going to turn my grams. I'm turning them into ounces. And then I'm turning my ounces into pounds. So I'm going to take my 350 grams. I'm going to multiply, not equals to. And I'm put grams on the bottom, ounces on the top. All right. 1 ounce, if you remember, I'm using this one right here. 1 ounce is 28.3 grams. Now the grams are gone, but remember, I want to have pounds. So I have to multiply by pounds on top, and I want ounces on the bottom. Remember, 1 pound is 16 ounces. So now the ounces cancel. Look, I'm left with pounds. That's what I want. So I have to have 350 on top. On the bottom, I'm going to do 28.3 times 16. Do that first. Make sure you don't do that last. So you do 350 divided by 28.3 times 16, and you're going to end up with about 0.77 pounds. All right, that's your final answer. Remember, that's about, it's not exact. All right. All right, 18 is very similar to the last two. I don't have a kilometers to yards conversion chart. So I'm going to actually take my kilometers and I'm going to turn them into meters because I have a meters to yards transit conversion. You could have turned your kilometers into miles and then miles into feet and then feet into yards. I just think this is a little bit faster. So we're going to go kilometers to meters, meters to yards. So I'm going to go kilometers into meters, then meters into yards, okay? So 2.1 kilometers. Remember, I'm going to put 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer. That's the conversion. I want kilometers on bottom, so they cancel. I'm going to multiply again. This time I want yards on top, and I want meters on bottom. And I'm using, it doesn't matter which one you use. You can use either this one or this one. But I'm actually going to use this one here. 1 yard is 0.9 meters. I just always like to use the same one so I don't end up thinking about it. So 1 yard right here is, that's a 1, is 0.9 meters. So I multiply across the top. I have 2.1 times 1,000 all over 0.9. Remember, the meters canceled, so I'm only left with yards. So I end up with 2,100 all over 0.9. I end up with 2,310 yards. And that's it. A bag of flour is 2.26 kilograms. How much does it weigh? Well, it weighs 2.26 kilograms. But they say round to the nearest pound. So you have to take your kilograms and turn them into pounds. Alright? So I'm going to take 2.26 kilograms. I'm going to multiply by pounds all over kilograms. Remember, 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Alright? So I do 2.26 times 2.2. I multiply together. Remember, the kilograms cancel, so I'm left with 5 pounds. So that's actually kind of what they sell in the store. They usually sell flour like in a 5-pound bag. So notice, guys, if you had a 5-pound bag of flour, it's about 2.26 kilograms. And actually, a lot of times they have both of those on the label. So if you go home and check a 5-pound bag of flour, you'll see about 2.26 on the side. That finishes this assignment. Got it all done. So if you have any questions, see me.